Okay. And I'm pretty sure. Hi, Paul. Let's see. Welcome, welcome. It's gonna be Natalie will be here soon. How are you doing?
Good. I got on a little late to go back and try to donate, but I'll get it after.
Yeah, I'm not worried about you, Paul. I sent you the Zoom link. I was like, yeah, I think he's supposed to be there. Get you the Zoom link. Yeah, we're gonna have it'll be a small group. We've got a few more people that we're waiting on. But I think it's gonna be a really potent session and important for the whole world right now. Um, Yeah. How are you feeling this morning?
It's been an interesting morning. My animals are being weird.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, actually. Do you follow the Schumann resonances?
No.
Okay, so I don't know if it's going to show on my camera. So I do. It's basically the frequency of the Earth's mag electromagnetic field. It's kind of just a
Mhm.
that's I'm not going to go into it, but you can kind of sometimes correlate human behavior between spikes in frequency that you see. And I
Mhm.
often, when I notice that my animals are being kind of really crazy, like more than their normal, I'll check the Schumann resonances because I always think that maybe because they're very sensitive, you know.
Mhm.
Animals are extremely sensitive to energy and so extremely sensitive to fluctuations in the Schumann resonances. And I kept trying to push it away and not let myself, hi Marcy, not let myself go there. But I was thinking because of today being the No King's March, that there'd probably be a spike in the Schumann resonances and probably a spike in our animals' behavior,
Uh-huh.
because of all of that. So, um, yeah, anyway, I just shared all that because you've mentioned Marcy. Hi, Marcy. Hi, Natalie. Um, yeah.
I
Uh,
was waving at Nellie.
welcome, welcome. How's everybody today?
Good. I thought that this was at 9, so I hung out in here for a little bit at 9 and then
Like it's not like DJ
got
to be
got the
late.
correction. I know I'm like, she's never late. I'm always late, but she's never late ever. So
Hmm. It's funny.
I got up early and bought a dahlia, which is strange because it's not the right time of year for dahlias, but I guess they were, I don't know, in a hothouse or something to put
dahlias
out
are
by the
so
front door.
pretty.
So that was like 8 o'clock. I ran over to the garden and they were almost all gone. Everybody was so excited with the warmer weather here to
Yeah.
start growing their plants and flowers.
How fun.
Where are you
Yeah.
located, Marcy?
In still have a froggy throat here. Napa,
Oh,
California.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really pretty.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, and there's good old hi Mama. Hey Andre. Welcome. Welcome. Yeah. So oh, Andre, you look cold.
I just got home, so
Oh.
I'll come back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. There's a couple of other people registered, but sometimes they don't show up and they just watch the replay. So we'll just kind of get going, but hold space for them if they're gonna join. Um, I wanna just kind of as we're moving through this session, really hold space for the entire planet, but really the U.S. today, specifically with the No King's March. Um, I know that intended to be a peaceful protest. However, there are many peaceful protest examples that don't always go that way. And so we want to just send a lot of good love so that everyone stays safe and protected and guided today. So that's the way I can protest is from the sidelines, sending love. But I do think it's important. It's something that's consistently been on my heart for the last few days. I've been asked to do it multiple times, just on my own time and like in my prayers and in the sessions. And I just want to hold that space as we're moving through. So even though this is a pause for pause, of course we want to hold space for the animals, which is what we're doing. Um, you know, the people sometimes take their dogs to these marches, or sometimes they, go home after and they have animals and they're in a certain state of mind because of certain things. And so we want to care and tend to the people that are caring for these animals as well, so that when they arrive back home, when they're in their care, that everybody's safe, everybody's held in that field of love, everyone's protected. Um, so just wanted to kind of set that foundation. Now we're gonna, move in another direction, but that is a very important foundation for us today. And I know Marcy and Natalie, you popped on right as I was talking to Paul, but if you're feeling a little interesting stuff from the energy in the energies today, the Schumann resonances are having a little bit of some spikes if you follow those. Um, and so just kind of remember that when that happens, it's our opportunity. We can either get swept away or we can choose to rise above. So if you're feeling anything funky today, just keep coming back to your heart, keep coming back to that central focus of this present moment and to your tools that help you manage these moments. Okay, let's take 1 minute of silence I have something we'll do, and then yeah, and I'll share a little bit more once we do our minute of silence. But just to kind of set the foundation a little deeper, to come into our hearts in our own way, and to link up as a group in this shared space. So 1 minute, and I'll call us out when it's time. Thank you, everyone. Um, so just briefly, just just to kind of share where we're at with PAWS. We're currently applying for multiple grants, so we've been deep in the grant application process. And I don't want to say too much about it because I believe in, we want to be careful, but let's just send lots of good positive energy that everything goes through for a property that we have our eyes set on and our hearts set on. So
Mhm.
let's just hold that, and then I'm not going to say any more, and we'll talk more about that at a later time. Just wanted to drop that in there for good positive vibrations for us. Um, And yeah, we're working on becoming more active on our social media accounts on Facebook and Instagram. This is always a bit of a challenge for me in a lot of ways, for a lot of reasons, but we also know that in order to expand awareness about what we're doing, we kind of got to meet people where they are. So we got to go find them and bring them into what we're doing. And I'm sure that there's so many other things I could share. Those just felt like the most important. But Natalie, do you have anything else that you can think of that would be worth popping in?
Not really. I think that you really covered it. Yeah, we've been hard at work behind the scenes and in lots of really actionable ways between the applications we're filling out, and just kind of projecting our needs, reaching for things, that we need to continue to expand our mission and to serve those that we need to serve. And yeah, we're doing lots of important things. Be on the lookout for our social media posts. We have Furry Friend Friday, Fun Fact Friday, Mindful Monday. What's the
Wellness
one?
Wednesday.
Wellness Wednesday. I'm like, what was that one again? Wellness Wednesday. So,
Although I think it should be Wacky Wednesday, and we'll just share all the wacky things our pets do.
yeah, yeah, yeah. They all do get into some wacky situations. So,
Mhm.
so yeah, thank you all
Yeah,
for joining us here and yeah, connecting today.
yeah, lovely. Okay, so thank you, Natalie. Just wanted to pop that in there for any of you that are curious. Of course, always keeping up with our email campaigns is a good way to stay informed when we send our monthly updates. Um, and there's like all these other things I want to say, but I'm like, no, just hold off because like sometimes I don't want. Sometimes I speak too soon, and the universe is teaching me to not speak too soon. So I'm learning how to. I get excited. We all get excited. That's how it
Mhm.
goes. So.
Mhm.
Okay, so today what I'd like to do is I have a question that I'd like for us to ponder. Um, and at the end of the session, we'll share about, well, what came up for us. I'm going to share the question with you in a moment, and then we'll go into our meditation. The meditation will be heart-centered, sending love to all the animals and all the humans and all those beings right now that need it. Um, And if you have that energy to specifically focus on the US as well and covering it in just lots of good love and all the animals that are here in the US and in our shelters and in the pounds and, and dealing with let's rephrase that, and interacting with the individuals who are struggling, right? So send them lots of love, and the people that are caring for them, lots of love, and all the people today that plan to go out and march, lots of love. And let's send a big burst of love to, and I'm going to be careful with my words, but to anybody in the world or US that may be contemplating causing harm. Um, let's just send them love too, so that we can fill them with love and remind them who they truly are, and so that we can stay centered in love, so that we can bring safety and protection to all those across the world. Okay, that was a long-winded way to share. And then after we do the meditation, there we go. There's the connecting dot. We'll share about our contemplation about this question that I'm gonna give to you, which is so it's kind of like it's a very broad session, we'll say. So the question is, and you can, I'm just going to give it to you in this space that you're in. We're kind of half analytical, half in right now, and that's okay because we're going to have more time to contemplate this in our hearts. Um, but just to speak it to you is, what is a lesson that animals in my life have taught me, and how has that helped me to more deeply understand love? So, what is a lesson that animals in my life have taught me, and how has that helped me to more deeply understand love? And I'll put this in the chat. Maybe I'll put this in the chat. I'll put this in the chat for us. It's technology. Um, okay. And And that's just holding that there. It's like, sometimes when we're not hyper focusing on something, we find the answer a lot easier. So that question is there to just kind of percolate and sit and be contemplated in the background. And then we'll do a little more of it and when we come together and share at the end. But for now, I think it's a good time to move into our meditation. Can feel everyone's already like ready for it, like settling down. So we'll hope that we can come back after the meditation to to do our community sharing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're ready. Let me just thinking about timing, how much time I have. All right. Get my screen set up. Can you see my screen? You can? Okay, my
Mhm.
something funky, so glad you can see it. All right. Okay, my friends, I will see you on the other side. Welcome, my dear friends, to this guided session to send love and healing energy out into the world. To all our furry friends, even our human friends, who could truly use this energy in their lives right now. If you haven't already, now is that perfect time to let your eyes gently close and allow your attention to drift inward. Beginning to soften and deepen your breath. Allowing your awareness to settle in this present moment. As you breathe deeply, take a moment to notice if you're gripping or holding on to tension or resistance in your mind or body. And with each breath, invite these spaces to soften. Invite any tension to dissolve and melt away. Now, as you continue to allow the body and mind to soften, invite your awareness to begin settling in your sacred heart space in the center of your chest. Taking a moment to truly connect with your heart. To feel its rhythmic beat. To sense the life force it infuses within you. And if you find that your mind is trying to distract you in another direction, just simply notice whatever is arising. And then allow these many thoughts to float on by as clouds passing in the big open sky. Calling your awareness back to your breath and back to your heart. And with your focus in your heart, allow yourself to begin noticing how this space reminds you what love is. Begin noticing how when you're present in this place, love arises naturally. And can be all that there is. Allow yourself to connect with and feel the love of your heart. Letting anything else go and allowing love to remain. As you breathe, allow this energy of love to amplify, to expand and grow. Filling your body and mind with this peaceful energy. As you breathe deeply, allow your own cup to be filled with this love. Inviting your body and mind to be nourished in this energy. Noticing if thoughts are trying to get in the way of you receiving this love. And allowing yourself to return to this moment beyond the mind, where true love resides. as you continue to breathe. If you feel called, with each breath, feel your heart expand with love. And as you breathe out, allow this energy to ripple out into the world. If in any way you're still in need of this love yourself, allow yourself to stay in this space of receiving, trusting that as you receive this energy, you truly become a beacon of love, and it pulses naturally from you into the world. Allow yourself to ripple and pulse out whatever it is that you have to give. Always remembering to ensure that your cup is full. As we cannot pour from an empty cup. Continuously returning to the love of your heart as you breathe deeply into this moment. Allowing your heart to expand on each in-breath. And rippling love out on each out-breath. Allowing this love to flow wherever it needs to go. Sending this love to all of our furry friends and human friends. trusting that this energy does make a difference in the world. Trusting that you are making a difference in this moment as you connect with love, as you feel love, and even share this love out. And for even just this moment, can you allow yourself to feel at peace? To feel as though the world is at peace. With the next breath, reconnect with the gentle beating of your heart. Reconnect with your breath and allow it to return to its natural rhythm. And as you gather up as much love as you can, gently begin returning your awareness to the physical space that holds you. Allowing gentle movements into the fingers and toes. Inviting the body to move in any way it needs to move. And whenever you're ready, gently flutter your eyes open. To this shared space together. Thank you, everyone. Some interesting energies that I was experiencing on my side, and I just before we start sharing, just want to remind everybody to take care of themselves today, and always take care of yourself, but especially at these very heightened energetic times, just um, that piece that came through of like making sure your own cup is full, right? We really can't pour from an empty cup. We can't show up for others in the way they need us to if we don't refill our cup. And if we're depleted, then we all know how that story goes when for yourself personally, right? Like, because we have different ways that we deal with that. Um, so just really want to encourage you to do that. And a reminder that you're yes, it's you and against you, but it's not just you against you, right? It's not you always just overcoming you. Depending on what frequency you're currently at, you're being met with matching frequencies out in the connected field. So in our communities, in our local, global or national and global communities. And so it's a good practice to notice when you're feeling shaken or uncomfortable or difficult emotions and ask yourself, is this mine? Is this mine? Right? Is this, maybe it's not, maybe it's a friend's, maybe it's a kid, the child's, maybe it's a neighbor's, or maybe it's the clerk from the store that you were just at. So it's important to ask ourselves that. And if it's not ours, then we can lovingly bless it and send it back to who it belongs to. So it returns to them in love. Just felt that was important to share. And I'm sure that either resonated or it didn't, but it was for someone here for sure, because it felt very important, or multiple people here. Now, we're going to spend the rest of the next 15 minutes doing just some community shares. And you're welcome to share about your experience in the meditation, though you don't have to do that. We have this question that's been percolating in the back of our minds, whether consciously or unconsciously. It's been sitting there, and that question is, what are those lessons that animals have taught us in our lives? And how has that helped us more deeply understand love? And maybe we don't know how it's helped us understand love. Maybe that's something that's going to come later, but they've taught us something, and we can learn from them in every moment. So, um,
I think for me, when I was growing up with a beagle dog, and I think for, all pets, loving pets, the first thing that they show us is that we receive love, that we learn to receive their love because they're always loving, wagging their tail or licking or, happy to see us. And so, but sometimes for us as humans, it's hard to receive love. Sometimes it's easier to give love. And I think that receiving and giving with the animals for me was the most important lesson to learn
that's
from
beautiful.
them. Yeah, from
That's
Gina
beautiful.
Bell.
So you know the beagle bark then, or the beagle howl. Yeah. We got a couple beagles over here. Well, they're mixes, but they sure have the beagle voice. Yeah, Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, as you brought us into this, I realized, I wonder if the cats went, man, our human is really acting weird this morning. Yeah. And to the question you posed, they break down the barrier in between giving and receiving.
Mm,
I mean, I often say I get more out of petting the animals than they get out of getting being petted. And it goes back and forth, and it goes both ways.
mm.
And it is such a blessing. And I hope I bless them as much as they bless me. Thank you.
Yeah, that's beautiful, Paul. I love that you said that. Like, I wonder if my human is acting strange today. Like what? What? And we're like, these animals are acting strange today, and they're like just mirroring what what we're doing. That's great, Paul. Mm,
Yeah, I'll go next. Yeah, while I was deep in my meditation, I was still kind of just pondering those questions, unconsciously. And yeah, just found myself thinking about all of the animals that I've had in my life. And in a very real way, they've all been, some of the greatest loves of my life, just the purest form of love. Because, even like with your partner that you're married to or your children, like other humans, they still can judge you, like, and misunderstand you. But animals, that relationship is so simple. Like you can walk around in your birthday suit, dancing to NSYNC's Bye Bye Bye, like whatever. Do like the weirdest, craziest things in the privacy of your own home, and your animals will be like, okay, cool, like this is what we're doing now. But like, your kids, your friends, your parents, your spouse will be like, what is she on about? Um, yeah, so I was just kind of found myself reflecting just how animals can never and will never judge you. Um, yeah, so that's just kind of
mm.
what made me what it made me think about.
It's beautiful. I love that, Natalie. And it's so great. I mean, just a couple days ago, I like saw something and it was like, just for a few minutes, just dance. And so I started like dancing all crazy in the kitchen. And who's our little pug beagle, he comes running in and he's like, yeah, and he just starts jumping up and down and like, this is what we're doing. Exactly that. And he's like, I don't know why we're doing it, but we're doing it. And I was like, we were both just laughing so hard. I don't know that he was laughing. I was definitely laughing. Sounded like he was laughing, but that's great. I love that, Natalie. And you're right. It's very pure love. Beautiful.
Third
Yes.
lesson that I get out of it is instincts, watching how they have instincts that run them, whether they seem to like it or not, and realizing that, oh, that goes on in me too.
So real.
It's really connection that comes to mind. Um, Sometime I would start to sing, and the cat is sleeping in the other room, and she just come at my feet because it's like I'm here to listen, or I don't know what she's saying, but it's like she would just stay there. Yeah, and it's a connection with all different frequency. Like when I am angry, I don't realize at times that I am angry, and I can hear her going a little quickie, like she doesn't know how to settle, and it's like a mirror that. So every frequency she can be there. There is a sensitivity. It's almost like angelic and instinct. They catch all of them, you know. It's like, so to me, it's a gift, a blessing of connection. It's something about nature that really gets to me that most of the time with humans, because we have a tendency to be in a representative reality, rational reality. So the connection is really, um, it takes longer to
Mm,
make that. And with animals, it's they tune so finely. So it's really a gift. Yeah.
yeah,
Thank you to have an animal, to have
yeah,
animals on the planet, I would say. Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And it's so interesting how they attune to us like at what is it, drop of a dime? Like that's the saying. Like that's just so quickly they'll attune to whatever frequency we're at, spoken or unspoken. So yeah, it's beautiful, Andre. Thank you so much for bringing that in.
Mhm.
I thought you were gonna say that you start singing and your cat starts singing.
She talks a lot.
That's so funny. That makes me think my husband is very musical. DJ can attest to that. He can play the saxophone, drums, piano, guitar,
Everything.
violin, trumpet, really anything that he picks up, he can figure out how to play. He actually gave Nellie several guitar lessons. Um, but sometimes he'll walk around the house and just play saxophone. And all of the dogs, well, both of our dogs, we have two golden retrievers. Whenever he plays the saxophone, we'll just howl along with the saxophone. It's so funny.
Oh, that's great. Oh, it's so much fun.
Just sorry, really quickly. While all this was going on and I was listening, we have we get some seed to our birds out on the back patio in the morning and in the evening. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but they're there and anyway, we love our birds. So just now, while we were all talking about this quail, because we just started to have a couple of quail because we don't have that many around this golf resort area where we live. They just walked along the ledge in the front of the house, not where they usually get fed, and just very quietly, both the male and female just walked along the ledge and then plopped down over the other side. Very zen-like.
That's cool. Thank you, Marcy. They're like, oh, we're gonna come join the interaction. I heard that they're calling in the animals.
Well, I have a little bit different perspective. We've had lots of cats over the years, and some of them have been very loving. And the one that I had right before Khadija was born, he thought I was his mom, and he would go into bed with me and curl up next to me. And, he just was very attached to me and just gave me a lot of love. And um, it was a really neat cat. But right now, I have a couple rescues. And they're very feral. I've had them 5 or 6 years, and one of them is still very feral. Um, he wants attention from me before I feed him breakfast, that. And then once I've fed him, if I see him any other time during the day, like if I go in the kitchen and he's in the kitchen, he leaves the kitchen. Or if he's on my bed and I go sit at my desk, he leaves my bed. I mean, he's just still very, very feral. Um, well, he used to not be quite so feral. I had 3 cats originally, and he thought Ozma was his mom. So if he followed Ozma around, so if Ozma was with me, which she always was, he would be with me. But then after she died, he was like, "You took my mommy away." So he's been very distant. But the other cat, I've learned that love is on her time. So she will come to me for love when she needs it or she wants it. But I can't go to her and just pick her up and cuddle her. But she will come to me. And she especially comes to me when I'm sick. If I'm not feeling well, and I was very sick last winter, and I would be on the couch wrapped in blankets with a book, and she'd be in my lap. So she picked up on how I was feeling and gave me more. Um, but it's like sometimes you want to give love, but the person who you want to give it to isn't ready to receive it. It has to be on their time. So, anyway, that's one thing that I've learned from her.
Yeah. That's an important lesson, though, even just in the
And
world, you know?
from the male also. I mean, he will come to me periodically during the day now. He seems to think that the bathroom is a safe place. So when I'm in the bathroom, he follows me in the bathroom, sits beside me,
Mm.
and purrs, and I can pet him. But
Mhm.
anywhere else in the house, and I keep on, like when we do these, I send all the love out to them, hoping that they'll, but
Yeah.
they're hiding. I don't know where they're.
I guess that's even like some humans, right? Some people have to receive love in a very specific way, and they can't do
Mhm.
very well with touch. Like they don't do
Right.
very well with touch, and they're very conservative. But the one thing that came through for me when you were speaking that I hadn't ever really thought of, because we've talked about these before, is some animals have like are more sensitive to human energies. So it like just it's not even it so even like Luna, who's our kind of reactive dog, she sometimes when I send her love, she'll start growling. Like I was sitting over here in the kitchen, sending her, blasting her with love, and it's actually too intense for her. So yesterday, even in the love infusion hour, I had to put her in a bubble so she didn't get overwhelmed by the amount of love because it actually
Mhm.
was gonna it wasn't going to benefit her because she was so resistant to it when it was like if it was coming in too much, it felt too intense for her. She doesn't know how to handle it. So I have to give it to her on her own time. And there's actually a huge school of thought in Reiki about that, where you actually are supposed to ask the animal if they're ready to receive it, and they'll let you know based on certain mannerisms because even though because their natural state is love, but sometimes when we send it to them, we send it within a human condition, which is like a whole nother topic. Maybe we need to have a whole session just on animal Reiki, which we could do, which is really interesting because I recognize that we're on the hour and I don't want to take up everyone's time, and I want to give Nellie an opportunity to share because I know she's got her friend with her now.
Yeah, so that was the main thing that I kept coming back to during the meditation was Babu. For like those who don't know, that is a cat we've had for a very long time, and he just recently came to live with me on campus, and that has been very lovely. But I was thinking about it during the meditation, and one of the things that I realized is he's a very welcoming, full of love cat, but he also has boundaries. And in return, that has taught me to respect his boundaries, have my own boundaries, and forgiveness. And I think that's a very important thing. Just to hold that unconditional love, to meet them where they're at. Emma had mentioned, and my mother had mentioned, and Natalie had mentioned, all of you in all sorts of ways. Um, Meeting them where they're at and loving them on their own terms because you have to respect the individual or the animal. And yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
You-
it's beautiful. Yeah,
I
go
know,
ahead.
I know we're running over, but one of my other thoughts is that dogs run in packs. So they're pretty much open to love, giving and receiving all the time. It's just different from cats. Cats are much more independent. So I think that's another aspect of, cats and dogs. Not that they don't both give love, but it's just in different ways. The dog, he wants to be with family and with the pack. Otherwise, he or she
Yeah,
is unhappy.
yeah. And they're all very individualistic too. We can find both from either spectrum that go either way. Um, but yeah, this has been a wonderful conversation. I feel like we could keep on talking about it for quite some time. So we'll think about how we could potentially we do actually have a similar sort of in Avenue event coming up on May 2nd. It's animal communication and how you can embody your pet to I'm working on it. I can't remember the exact title, but it's going to be hosted by a partner. And we'll send some information about that. It'll start with some gentle movement and then go into kind of a more embodied session about how we can really learn from our pets in a different type of way. Um, so yeah, so I'll send information about that if you all want to join us for that. And then of course we have our pause for pause next month. And maybe we'll need to have like an animal Reiki session. I am certified in Reiki, so that's something I could offer to us all. That's something, it's an interesting thought. I'll see if there's interest, and then we could talk about that because that is an
Then we'll have
important
to see if
fact.
the then we'll have to see if our pets are interested.
That's exactly it. Yeah, that's that part. That's that piece is that like it's so important that that was touched on here is that the boundaries and that like it's not that they don't want the love. It's just that it can be so overwhelming, I think. I think it can just be because we're such big creatures and they're these like they're they're very simple. Like
That really makes sense with Taylor Poe because I'll be sending him love and looking at him and talking to him, just mentally about how much I love him and he's safe with me. And he'll be standing at a distance and he'll look at me and he'll go, "Meow, meow," and he'll take off. So maybe it's just too much. I'm going to have to think about that.
yeah, it's an interesting thought because we don't want to
Yeah,
think about there's a world where
yeah,
there's too much love. No, that's
exactly.
not a possibility. I don't I, and
Yeah.
I think there's probably a way for us to rephrase it because it's like it's just probably the amount of energy that we're blasting at them in the moment,
Right.
because they
It's
need
too
and they
much.
deserve the love for sure, but maybe spread out over I don't know. I don't know, just maybe we set some intention of like as much as they can receive, that's what I send to them, and the rest goes out into the world. So just letting it do what it needs to do. So it's filtered in a different way. Anyway, I'm gonna I'm gonna let us go because I know that this is a fascinating topic to me, and I could definitely keep on talking to you, but I know we all have things to do today. So I just love you all so much. I really appreciate your support of PAWS. And Natalie, I'm sorry, do you want to say anything before we close? I hate to just close without.
No, not really. Just thank you guys all so much for taking this time to connect with us this morning. And yeah, stay safe, stay calm, stay present today and always. So
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah,
thank you.
thank you all so much for your
Lots of
Thank
your
you
love.
support.
all.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you have a
Thank you
wonderful
guys.
weekend.
Beautiful day.
Thank
Hmm.
you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.